that there is no way of escape, that there is a place of eternity, and that place is that no matter how hard they plead, no matter how hard they cry, no matter how bad they feel at that point of the fact that they rejected Jesus Christ and denied his free gift of salvation by calling on his name and placing his trust in them, they will spend an eternity. That is, there is no exit door. There is no place of escape. It doesn't matter how bad they want to get out of there. They will never, ever be able to get out of that place of confinement and imprisonment and torment that's going to be their lot for eternity. There is where the responsibility, we see that responsibility falling upon our shoulders as Christians. And Jesus wants us to understand the horror of the human mind cannot even imagine what it will be like. That's why he said in Matthew chapter 8, verse 12, he said that the reality of this, and he said that there is a weeping and a gnashing of teeth. I like to use the illustration of the Twin Towers. We remember the Twin Towers when they were burning, and the courageous firemen and the courageous police officers went in and they gave their lives to take those men and women out of that place of destruction where those buildings were burning and their fire, and they gave their lives so that they could come out and live on this earth for another 30 years or 40 years. Here we're talking about the eternal soul's destiny, that we as Christians who have had a birth from God, who have been born of God, we have this responsibility to tell people that their eternal souls are at stake. But we become embarrassed. We're afraid to hurt their feelings. We're afraid that they might get offended. Yet they're gonna have to go before God and stand before him as a result of whether they rejected or received the gospel and received Jesus Christ into their life. So hell is irreversible. In verse 26 of Luke 16, he says, "And beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither they pass to us that would come from thence." So what it's saying, that the darkness of absolute hopelessness that grips every soul of every man and woman that find themselves in hell. There is that great chasm. And the righteousness of God acknowledges the choice that each individual makes in this life. God desires none to perish and none to be going to hell. He doesn't want not one person to go to hell, but he desires all to repent and to come to a saving knowledge of knowing him and escaping the fiery torments of hell. The lost will also have a deep, piercing concern for all the people that they know and are lost. In verses 27 and 28, it says this. It says, "Then he said, I pray thee therefore, Father, that thou wouldst send me to my father's house. For I have 5 brothers, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment." And so the rich man comes to the realization of the hopelessness state, and his concern is for his family. He says, if I could just go and tell them about it. I believe if we could just get a 30-second glimpse of what it's like in hell, that you and I would have the same concern that this rich man had for his family, that we would have the same concern for the lost. Now watch what happens in verse 29 of the story of the rich man and Lazarus. He says, "Now Jesus said, and Abraham saith unto him," the rich man, "They have Moses and they have the prophets. Let them hear them." And then he said, "No, Father Abraham, for if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent." And he said unto them, "If they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead." Here he's saying that, listen, even though you have been here